Hi, this is Justin Wherry, and in this video we will be discussing how to break down a rent roll using the MFG underwriting template. All right, let's get started. So if you go over to the comprehensive tab, select it, there's some things here in the comprehensive tab that we need to change, just kind of as some basic housekeeping. So right here in step one, you'll see that the number of units that we entered in the property tab is populated, and so is the rentable square feet. We need to change the year built to 1970. And let's see. Change the property class and the neighborhood class. Number of stories is going to be 2. The number of stories is going to be 2/3 stories. Number of buildings is 7. The roofs are flat. And we'll leave this. Comprehensive tab will populate that for us in a minute. Okay, so now let's go over to the rent roll, the property one rent roll tab. So what you'll notice is you've got type, square feet, current rent, market rent, occupancy, and count as headers, and they're up here in the top, and they are frozen. So we want to keep them there. We want to keep them frozen. You'll also notice you've got some drop downs underneath them in every other cell that has different ways to categorize the items in the rent roll. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. What we need to do now is we need to go to the seller's rent roll, and we're going to want to copy everything that they have in here. So I'm pressing Control Shift and then the down arrow on the keyboard. You don't have to do that. Again, you can use Edit or right click and get the exact same thing. Let's do this. I don't want, yeah. So we're going to copy that. And if you go over to the rent roll tab, there's a paste point right here. We're going to paste everything there in the rent roll tab. And we want, let's see. We want to take floor plan. We're going to need the square feet. So type would be the floor plan. Square feet, obviously, is square feet. This rent roll has unit lease status listed. So occupied, vacant, different notice to vacate, vacant leased. So we can use this, or what we can do is use the name, because that also shows the vacant, but it shows where the office is, and we can keep that information for later. So I think we should use the name. Okay. The name for occupancy. And then, let's see, we need market rent. It's going to go there. And then lease rent. We'll put that as current rent. Yeah, lease rent. There we go. Put that as current rent. So we'll go here. Square feet. I'm going to copy that whole Let's do this. Make it a little bit easier to see. We're going to go with floor plan first. And copy this stuff. I'm going to paste it there. Square footage. Copy that. Paste it there. Name. Copy that. Paste it there. Market rent. And rent. Copy that. Paste it there. All right, now that we've done that, what I like to do is hide all of these things from L all the way to the end of the document because we don't really need to look at those anymore. Let's hide them. And go to the bottom of the document where there's no information. Also, hide those empty rows. Now that we have that, let's move it back here. And let's see, let's go to step 10, because what we're doing with the rent roll really pertains to step 10. All the other steps we can kind of do a little bit later. So, all right, we're going to go back to the top. Now, we want to sort the information that we have here. The way that I have it set up, we should just be able to sort by column B and column D and have everything be exactly as we need it to be. So let's give that a try. Let's go to data, sort range, and we're going to add. So we're going to add another sort column, and we're going to go to B and D. I'm going to sort those. Now it's got it sorted by floor plan and square footage. We also have the current rent and market rent listed here. So those should kind of fall in line. I'll show you how we're going to make that happen. First thing we need to do, just so we can follow along, let's separate the different types of unit. So all right. Now that we've got a line separating all the different types of unit, double check it, make sure. Now we'll get started sorting them. The sorting works very similarly to the way it did in the property 1T12. The only difference here is you're going to be doing this for each of these each of these different units. Okay, so we'll show you how you're gonna do that. Okay, let's select that entire column. I'm gonna press Control D. Select this entire column. Control D again. Same thing. Just do that throughout the entire document. Wherever you see a drop down in the rent roll. Okay. All right. Now that we've got a drop down in each one of those cells for each of those columns, now you're going to go to this drop down, this first one, and we have type floor plan. So T1T is short for type. And then the next thing you would do is just fill in all of the different types that correspond to each of these floor plans. So I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. All right. So as you can see, I've got T1T for the first floor plan that's listed here and T2T for the second floor plan, third floor plan, etc. And if you look over here on the comprehensive tab, all of the types have been populated here because of what we entered here. So we're going to do the same thing with square feet, right? T1 square foot, and then drag it down. Now, what it's doing here is it's going to it works the same as the floor plan. You can really just put one in here, but again, it helps me to see those. So we're going to go through and do all of these for the square footage, current rent, market rent, and occupancy. We're also going to do count. Okay, now we'll talk a little bit about what's happening here with the current rent. It's averaging these, and if there's a zero, it will not factor that into the equation. Same thing with market rent, right? With occupancy, you would go and you would find one that says vacant, and this is property 3, so it's going to be T3 vacant V. You also have T3 non-rev, right? You can select. And then for count, the way that count works is if you click on this and then T1 number, it will sum these for you. Okay. So you got 10 of those, T1. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to complete this entire rent roll so that we can move on to step 10 and talk about that a little bit. Okay, so now that we have our rent roll fully broken down, what you'll notice on the comprehensive tab is all of the fields that are here on the rent roll tab have now populated on the comprehensive tab. So it's a little bit of a task, but it's really not that bad once you get moving with it. Okay, now we're going to go through and do the comp codes and the property drop downs. These are all a part of property 1. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that here. Okay, so now we're going to enter in the comp code for each of these unit types. So 1-1, it's a classic unit. This is an unrenovated unit with a mountain view. This is a renovated unit. This is a renovated with a mountain view. And these are classic units. 2-1. 2-1 renovated. 2-2 renovated. 3-1 renovated. And studio is renovated. So now we've got the comp codes in there. Once you have entered in all of the information here in the comp code and the property drop down, yeah, that's the rent roll. Now you can move on to step 10A, 11, and so on and so forth to completely dial in a property and find out if it's something that you would be interested in. I hope you all found this video helpful, and hopefully it's something you can use to make underwriting a little bit easier. Until next time, take care.